Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the last video we have discussed about the DC motor drives and we have discussed that how we can develop the model of our DC machine. Then we discussed about the current control and the speed control of the DC motor. So here you can see the current loop in the DC motor drive. So this is the transfer function relating the voltage and the current. V is the armature voltage, IA is the armature current. So they are related by this transfer function. This is the transfer function of your power electronic converter, where Kr is the gain from control voltage to the output voltage and Tr is the delay time of your converter. And then this is representing the PI controller, the current controller, and here is the gain of the current sensor. So current feedback is this one. So this is representing the gain of the current sensor. So for this we have already discussed that the closed loop transfer function is given by this equation. It's a fourth order equation, and in the last lecture we discussed that how we can approximate it with the help of the second order equation. So the first approximation was that we are going to represent it as simply STM, and if it is represented like that, then this S and this S will be cancelled out. So these two will be cancelling each other, right? So if it is the case, we can write it like that, and then we can use this fact that the delay of your converter circuit is the smallest one as compared to the T1 and the T2, and these are the two time constants which we derived in the last lecture, which are based upon the motor resistance Ra, motor inductance La, motor inertia J, and the Bt, that is the frictional constant of your machine as well as the load that you are going to apply. So it depends upon these four parameters. So this is purely based upon the power electronic converter, so it is the smallest one. So we have this equation, and in this now if we assume that we are going to adjust the delay time of your controller or the zero of your controller such that this Tc is equal to T2, so then this 0 and this pole will be cancelled out and you will be left with only second order transfer function. So representing it in this second order form, so we can write this expression and we can collect all the constant terms from here. So this, let's suppose, is equal to K, so this expression can be written as K over 1 plus ST1 plus into 1 plus STR. So from here we discussed about the characteristic equation, and the characteristic equation can be written like this, and from the characteristic equation you can easily find out the information about the damping of your system and the natural frequency of your system. So you can develop the characteristic equation and then you can compare it with the second order equation, and by the comparison you can find out zeta and the omega n, and for the critical value of the damping you can set up a condition that is given by this expression B, and then using this expression B we can find out the current controller gain. So that was the last point of our last lecture. We have discussed by this point in the last video. Now we are going to approximate our this loop with the help of the first order transfer function. Here you can see the current control loop. This is the PI controller, this is your power electronic converter, this is the transfer function G1S that is relating the current of your armature with the applied voltage, right? So we have discussed about this one in the previous videos. Okay, now we can make certain assumption as we did in the previous case, that we can assume that 1 plus STM is equal to STM. We can ignore 1 because this is very close to the gain crossover frequency, so we can neglect this one. Okay, so if you neglect that one, so you can represent it like that, STM. So when you are going to represent it like that, this S and this S will be cancelled out, or you can say this 0 is going to cancel this pole. And the second assumption that we have already seen, that Tc is equal to T2. If that is the case, then 1 plus STc will be cancelling this 1 plus ST2. So we will only be left with this part 1 plus STR, right, into 1 plus ST1. And now let's assume that we have another time constant T3, that is the sum of these two time constants T1 and the TR, where TR is the time constant or the delay time of your power electronic converter, and the T1 is the time constant based upon your machine parameters. So combining these two together, we can represent these two poles as 1 plus S T3. So here you can see it is 1 plus ST3. So from this controller transfer function, this and this are cancelled, 0 and pole are cancelled, so we are only left with Kc by Tc, and from here we are only left with the gain, and we have combined these two together and we have shown it over here, and then we have the gain K1 into this Tm. So we can draw this control loop like this. This is our current control loop based upon the assumptions those we have made. Okay, so now the closed loop transfer function of this loop can be represented like this. So here we can write it as 1 g over 1 plus gh. So this is the forward transfer function, and over here you can see the product of this g with the h of c, hc. Okay, so simplifying this one, you will get this expression, and finally rearranging, you can represent it like this. As we have already discussed that we are going to represent this loop with the first order transfer function, so we can say that this in general is equal to this one, that is Ki over 1 plus Sti, where Ki is the gain of this current loop and Ti is the time constant of this current loop. Okay, now let's write down this expression that we have seen over here in this form, so that we can identify the expression for Ki and we can identify the time constant Ti for this current loop. So rearranging this one, this equation, we can write it like this. Okay, so now from here, what we are going to do, we are going to divide and multiply it with the Tc, so that you can see over here, and then taking Tc common from this part, right? If you take Tc common out, so Tc is represented over here, so you will have to divide it by Tc. So it is simple mathematics, you can do it, and then you can represent this transfer function like that. Let's suppose this one is equal to Kfi. So here is Kfi. So similarly you can represent this one, this part, because this and this, they are same, so we are going to call it Kfi. So here you can say Kfi and Kfi over here, and this Tc and this Tc will be cancelled out, so only h of c will be left. So this can be written like this, and rearranging this one, we can further write it like that. If we take out 1 plus Kfi common from here, so we can write it 1 plus s into T3 over 1 plus Kfi, right? So we can write it like this, and now let's define that this is the gain Ki, right? So let's suppose that this is Ki, so this will be Ti, this one. So with this definition, we can write down this transfer function as Ki by 1 plus Sti, that is the first order transfer function. So where Ki is given by this expression and the Ti is given by this expression. So you can approximate this loop based upon the reasonable assumptions, and you can represent the current loop, this loop, with the help of the first order transfer function, right? Okay, now we will be using this approximation in the speed control loop. So here you can see the current loop represented by the first order transfer function. The input is the reference current and the output is the actual current, and then you are going to translate this current in terms of the speed. We have derived this transfer function in our previous videos, and here is the PI controller for the control of the speed. It will look at the error at this point, and we will adjust the gains of this PI controller in such a way that it will be generating the current command which will be implemented by your current loop, and then that current will develop certain mechanical representation, that is in terms of the speed, and then that speed will be fed back to this comparator through this sensor, and this is representing the transfer function of your sensor, where h omega is the gain of your speed sensor and the t omega is the delay that is generated because of the time and because of the speed sensor. Okay, now if we look at the closed loop transfer function, we can represent it like this. Okay, so it's again a fourth order system. Here you can see one pole is at origin, the second pole is at -1 by Ti, the next pole is at s is equal to -1 by Tm, and the next pole is equal to 1 by T omega. So it's a fourth order transfer function. Again, by making certain assumptions, we can reduce the order over here. And what are those assumptions? First of all, we are going to say that 1 plus Stm is nearly equal to Stm. So with that, we can represent this part with Stm, right? And the second assumption, that is we are going to define another time constant T4, which is the sum of the delay time of your speed sensor and the Ti was the delay time of your current loop. So combining them together, we are going to say that it is T4. So we are combining this term 1 plus Sti and 1 plus St omega, right? Okay, so we can represent these ones like this: 1 plus st4, and 1s was over here, this one, and the second s is because of this approximation, so this will become s square, and in the numerator we have 1 plus sts, right? And combining all of these gains together, we can write down this expression, right? This Tm is considered over here. Okay, now let's define K2. K2 is equal to Ki into Kb into K omega divided by Bt into Tm. So taking these terms from here, Ki, Kb and K omega divided by Bt and the Tm. So we will be left with Ks and Ts. So K2 into Ks by Ts into this transfer function. So that is 1 plus Sts divided by S square into 1 plus St4. So it's a third order transfer function at the moment, because you can see there are two poles at the origin and one pole is at S is equal to -1 by T4. Okay, now the closed loop transfer function of this speed loop that we have seen over here, this is the speed loop, so that can be written like that: the output speed and the command speed, and here you get this transfer function after simplification by using the basic block reduction rules. Okay, so in generic I can say that uh, this transfer function is the third order transfer function, and let's suppose that we have this polynomial, the highest power is 3, with that the coefficient is a3, and second s square, the coefficient of s square is a2, coefficient of s is a1, and the constant is a0. So in generic we can represent this polynomial like that, and similarly we can represent this numerator in generic like this, that it's a first order mm, polynomial, and the coefficient of s is a1 and the constant is a0. So now we can define what is a0, a1, a2 and a3 by comparing this equation with this one, right? So with s3 you can see the t4, so a3 will be equal to t4 and a2 will be equal to 1, right, by comparing these, and a0 will be equal to k2 into s, and a0 will be equal to k2 into ks by ts, right? And the same parameters are over here, k2 into ks by ts, that was over here, so this is also represented as a0, and k2 ks by ts, and ts will be cancelled out when multiplied with this one. So k2 into ks is this one. So we are going to represent this coefficient a1, right? So same coefficient as over here, same coefficients are there in the numerator. Okay, now if we take the magnitude of this one, so the magnitude of this transfer function can be given by this equation, right? So now in this, how we can increase the bandwidth? If you look at that one, if we make this term 0 and this term 0, so we will be only left with this one. So our bandwidth will be widened, and for that we will have to make our omega square and the omega power 4 terms 0. So in order to make them 0, this should be 0, a1 square minus 2 a naught a2. So if we put up equal to 0, so from this we can write that a1 square must be equal to 2 a naught into a2. And similarly, if we are going to set up this one equal to 0, so a2 square, it should be equal to 2a1 into a3. So we are going to apply these conditions over here. Why we are applying? Because we want to increase the bandwidth so that we can operate our loops at the higher switching frequencies from your power electronic converters. Okay, so with these two approximations, what we can do, you can see over here a1 square is equal to 2 a naught a2, and we have defined their values. So taking their values from here, a naught is this one, a2 is 1. So taking those values, so you can define from here that ts should be equal to 2 by ks into k2. And taking the second condition, so that is this one, and now taking the value of a1, a3 and a2, we can set up this equation, and from here we can say that ks should be equal to 1 by 2 into t4 into k2. So if we select our time constants ts and gain ks with the help of this equation, so then our these terms, the coefficient of omega square and the omega power 4 will be 0. So these two terms will no more be there, and we will only be left with this one, right? So from this equation a and b, we can relate ts and t4 with each other. How we can do that one? From here you can say ts is equal to 2 by ks into k2, and taking the value of ks from this equation over here, so writing it like that and then simplifying, so ts will be equal to 4 into t4. So we have this equation after this approximation. Okay, so what was ts? Ts, if you look at this diagram, this is representing the 0 of your speed controller. It is required for that one, right? So ts is equal to 4 times t4 that we have obtained with this approximation. Okay, so now what is t4? T4 we have already defined that t4 will be equal to t omega plus ti. So that is the delay because of your speed sensor, and this is the delay of your current loop. Okay, now writing the above expression in terms of t4. So how we can write that one? If I go back over here, and now we have calculated the value of ks, right, in terms of t4. So if we use all of these values and the expressions, those we have seen over here, expression for ts, expression for ks, so we can finally represent our speed loop with the help of this transfer function, right? So this is the transfer function representing our speed loop. Okay, now some important points related to this one. It can be proved that open loop gain function corner points are at 1 by 4 t4 and 1 by t4 with the gain crossover equal to 1 by 2 into t4. And from body plot, the slope near the VGC is minus 20 dB per decade. So when it will be, your body plot will be crossing this 0 dB line, right? So the slope of this one will be minus 20 dB. So it is symmetric across this one, and because of that it is said to be the symmetric optimum function. The time constant of the system is 4t4 because the speed loop is the outer loop, and as we have just seen that t4 is the time constant of that speed loop. So the time constant of your system is basically the time response of your outer loop, and outer loop is the speed loop. So its time constant is 4t4. Now if you look at the step response, if you take the Laplace transform from here, from this equation, so you can represent the speed in terms of t4 with the help of this equation for the step response. Okay, now high overshoot can be reduced by compensation. If you observe high overshoots in this one, so how to do that one? You can introduce another pole at this position, 1 by 1 plus 4t4 into s. So with this compensation you can reduce the overshoot. Those will be observed in the step response in your speed loop. Okay, and the pole of the closed loop transfer function, those that we have seen above, are these one: s is equal to minus 1 by 2 t4 and s is equal to minus 1 by 4 t4 plus minus j under root 3 4 into t4. So now let's go through an example in which all of these concepts will be clear in further. So we are going to design a drive for a DC motor with the following specs: the 220 volt machine, 6.4 ampere, 1570 rpm, armature resistance is this one, inertia of your machine, inductance, the total frictional coefficient, and the back EMF coefficient. Okay, so here is the structure of that one. We have the three-phase converter circuit. The control voltage is plus minus 10 volt, and this is taking the three-phase supply, right, at 220 volt and the 60 hertz, and the DC machine is connected over here. It is taking 20 ampere. This is representing the armature, this is representing the mechanical part, and this is the field part of your machine. And the speed sensor speed feedback loop has this transfer function. So this information is given to us, and with that we are going to design the current controller and the speed controller. Okay, so first of all let's talk about the converter transfer function. The phase voltage first of all can be calculated as V line divided by root 3. So 230 volt is the line to line voltage, so 127.02 volt. Now with this we can find out the gain of your power electronic converter as it is the three-phase converter. So in the previous video we have seen how we can find out the gain. So using the expression from that video, Kr is given by this expression, and Vs is the RMS supply voltage, VCM is the maximum control voltage. So over here the control voltage is 10 volt. So using that one over here and the phase voltage, so you can define the gain of your this three-phase converter from the control voltage to the output DC voltage. Okay, so the gain is 29.71. So what will be the DC maximum voltage that you can get at the output? The gain is 29.71 and the control voltage is the maximum value of the control voltage is 10. So the maximum DC voltage will be 297.10 volt. Okay. Okay, now for the three-phase converter, the DC voltage is given by this one, and we have seen that in normalized form, the normalized DC output voltage is given by this expression, that is equal to cos of alpha. As we are going to assume this converter as a linear converter, so whatever will be the variation in the control voltage, that will be reflected in the output DC voltage over here. The variation of this control voltage will be represented over Vn. There is a linear relationship in between them. So we can say that normalized control voltage is also equal to cos of alpha. And what is normalized control voltage? Vc over Vcm, the maximum value of the control actual value of the control voltage divided by the maximum value of the control voltage. So from here we can say alpha is equal to cos inverse of Vc by Vcm. So now defining alpha with this expression and then simplifying these ones, so we will be left with this one. So VDC will be equal to 303 into under root 2 into Vs. So we are going to represent this one with the RMS value of the phase. So we can write it like that, and simplifying this one we can represent it with this expression. So our output voltage will be equal to Kr times the Vc. So this is basically the output voltage, right? So Kr given by this expression. And what is Vs in this? Vs is the phase voltage, phase RMS voltage, right? Okay, now let's calculate the rated DC voltage, the control voltage, what maximum control voltage we can apply, because our converter can give 297.10 volt, but our machine is rated at 220 volt. So at what control voltage you will get the 220 volt, that will be the maximum value of the control voltage. So from this expression you can see that the gain is 29.71. So using that one, with the machine rated voltage 220, so maximum value of the control voltage is 10. So the control voltage that will be giving you the rated voltage will be 7.41, right? Now the converter time delay can be calculated, as it is a three-phase rectifier circuit, so there will be 6 pulses. For 6 pulse rectifier we have seen that the TR is equal to 1 by 12 into Fs, and that will be equal to this one. This will be the delay that will be introduced by your converter. So the gain of the converter is calculated. The gain is 29.71 and the delay is this one, 0.00138. So you can now write the transfer function of your power electronic converter. Okay, now the next thing is to calculate the current feedback gain. So maximum control voltage that you can apply is 7.41, and the maximum current of your machine, if we go back and look at these um, values which are given to us, the maximum current is allowed, that is 20 ampere. So that 20 ampere will be generated by this control voltage 7.41, and that is the maximum one. So for maximum control voltage there should be the maximum current, so 0.3705 volt per ampere. That's the relationship between the control voltage and the ampere output in your ampere output at the uh, current sensor. Okay, so now let's come towards the motor transfer function we have discussed in the previous videos. First of all, we are going to calculate K1. K1 is given as BT divided by KB square plus R into BT. So this is K1, and now we can use this transfer function, that is relating the current and the voltage, input voltage with the current in your machine. So we are going to calculate all of these parameters. First of all, the K1 that we have calculated with the help of this expression. Okay, next we need to find out this T1 and T2, and these are basically the roots which are given by this equation, right? So we are given with RA, LA, BT and J. If you look at those values, you can find out these roots, and these roots, from these roots you can find out these time constants T1 and the T2. So T1 is given by this one and T2 is equal to 0.01 second. So now in this transfer function you have calculated this one, and this one, and the next thing is the mechanical time constant, that is J over BT. So the J and the BT are also given, so that is equal to 0.69 second. So from this information now you can find out this transfer function. You can represent the relationship between the current and the voltage with the help of this expression. This is K1, and this is T1, this is T1, and this is T2, right? The KB that is also given to us, KB was equal to 1.24 volt per radian per second. So at this speed, this for 1 radian per second change, the KB will change by 1.24 volt. So now using that one, we were at this point. So using KB and the transfer function for the mechanical part of your machine, that is omega m is the output and the armature current is the input. So that is equal to KB by BT divided by 1 plus STM. So KB is given to us, BT is given to us, and TM we have calculated over here. So using that, so we can write down that transfer function. Okay, so now let's come toward the design of the current controller. While discussing the current controller, we assumed that TC will be considered as T2. So with that assumption, TC that is equal to T2, that is equal to 0.01 second, and where we calculated this T2, this T2 has been calculated over here, right? So the T2 will be given by this one, and then we can use the expression for the current controller. gain, so that will be equal to 1 by 2 into T1 Tc by Tr divided by 1 over K1 Kr Hc into Tm. Okay, so if you look at all of these one, we have calculated T1, we know about Tc, we know about Tr, K1 is also calculated, Kr is there, H is known, Tm is there. So with that you can find out Kc using this expression, right? Okay, so now approximating that current loop with the first order transfer function that we have discussed earlier. So we have this transfer function, so in that we need to calculate Ki and Ti, and Ki is given by this expression derived earlier, and in this Kfi is given by this equation, right? And what was Ti? Ti was equal to T3 divided by 1 plus Kfi. So you now need to find out all of these ones. So you have the parameters Kc, Kr, K1, Tm and H, and you can work out for all of these values. So first of all, working out the value of Kfi, that is this one 68.77, and then we can work out the value of Ki, so that is 2.66, and then we can work out the value of T3 that was considered as the sum of T1 and Tr. So this is the value of this time constant, and then the Ti can be worked out from this expression, so that will be equal to 2.60 millisecond. So the current loop will be approximated by this first order transfer function whose gain is 2.66 and whose delay is 0.0026. After designing that one, now we can work out for the speed controller parameters. The T4, as we assumed in the earlier discussion, is Ti plus T omega. So both of these are known to you, so that will be equal to 4.76, and then K2 can be calculated, that will be equal to 4.07. The Ks will be equal to 28.73, and the Ts will be equal to 4 into T4. So all the parameters for your drive now have been calculated. So now if I just revise, this was our speed command, and with the speed command we have the speed transfer function, pi controller, speed controller. So that was the pi controller. Okay, so 1 plus sts divided by sts with the gain ks. So we have calculated all of this. Ks is calculated over here, and ts is over here, so we know about in detail about this pi controller. Okay, next thing was the current loop approximated by the first order transfer function, so that was this one. So for this loop we have calculated Ti and Ki, and we did it over here, right? This is Ti, and uh, the other one is the Ki, that is this one, right? So Ki and Ti, those are worked out. So we can implement now this loop, current loop, with the first order approximation, and from this current now we can move towards the speed. Here you can say Ia asterisk, this is Ia, and this Ia will be converted into omega with the help of the transfer function that is given by this equation, kb by bt divided by 1 plus stm. So let's write it over here, kb by bt divided by 1 plus stm. So we know the information of kb and bt and the tm, so we can find out this one, and then we can feed it back through the hc, the gain of your g of h of omega, h of omega divided by 1 plus t of omega. So this information is already given to us, so that will be providing that speed signal in terms of voltage over here. This speed command will be in terms of voltage. So some voltage will be applied at this point from your potentiometer or some other mechanism that is setting the reference speed, and the speed sensor taking this speed input and giving you the corresponding voltage signal, and that will be compared with that one. Error will be fed to this PI controller. This will decide about the current to minimize that error, and then that error will be through this loop of your current loop will be realized in your machine, and then that current will be reflected in terms of the speed with the help of this transfer function. And within this what we have the um, reference armature current that is being compared with the actual current that is through the transfer function HC, right? And then onward we have the PI controller, and then we have the power electronic converter, and then we have the loop that is relating VA with the IA, a transfer function G1 of S that is giving us the current, and that current is fed back. So that is approximated by this first order transfer function. So now we have calculated all of these parameters which are required. Now you can easily simulate this complete system in the Simulink, and that we will discuss in the live class session, that how we can simulate it, that one. That's all from this video. Thank you very much.